Is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this to us.
Like, because I saw the pictures and I was like, that's not right. What am I missing?
Good morning. So this Blue Jays Yankees game, by the way, where there's a poll running, this got postponed.
Yeah, just now.
So we'll move on to the second one. We got John here too. He's here. His camera's turned off at the moment, but he's here.
Is it?
Yeah. It looks like you clicked the camera off button on your thing.
Oh,
there you go.
All right. Let's go.
Dude, when John first joined this morning, his camera was zoomed in. His face is like here. What's up, guys? And his like face is the size of the screen.
Yeah, it's big enough. It's big enough as it is, man.
Oh shit. So yeah. Hope you're all having a lovely morning. It's going to be a fun one. We got playoff basketball on all day. We got baseball on all day. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be action nonstop all day. Let me center my camera here. So we're starting first. The Toronto Yankees game got postponed, and then the first couple are double headers. We know Toast doesn't like double headers, but John, being a first five guy, might have something. The double headers are tough for us, John. We like to do the full games, and the bullpen management in these double headers is so unpredictable. We've seen teams up to not even use their closer, save him for the second game, like crazy unpredictability when it comes to bullpen management. So with the double headers, we usually just graze over, but you're more than welcome to share something if you got it. Orioles Tigers.
I'm not against it. And today I would have bet it if they were in a different order, because the one that I was lined up for, the one the model was humming for, was the Baltimore-Detroit Game 2, Morton versus Montero. I have, we could get a dozen runs in that game. Morton's been terrible. Montero's been terrible. We always talk about Baltimore being they're so much better at hitting righties. They're a totally different team, right? We're seeing a few teams like that, right? The Dodgers look human versus lefties, and the Orioles look very human versus lefties. So I thought I liked Brandon Young first five against Mize yesterday, but along with that over that I was kind of teasing, the weather is crazy out there today.
Really?
So yeah, if you were looking to pitch like I was, I kind of pulled the plug because I saw anywhere between 15 and 20 miles an hour out to right center, which is the pull side for lefties. So again, if you're on the Orioles, lefty bats, today's like their day to go nuts.
All right, so let's jump on over to the next one, which is also the first leg of a doubleheader. This one's in Cleveland. The first one was in Detroit. This one's in Cleveland. Boston on the road in Cleveland. We got Tanner Houck pitching against Lively. This was the game we were supposed to see yesterday with the exact same pitching matchup. I kind of like the Cleveland money line in this one, so that's what I'll put up. But now that it's a doubleheader, I didn't bet it, but yeah.
I like Boston in the over. I'm not betting either one of them. You can take the over out because the weather's completely different. I think it looks like the wind's completely blowing in there. But
correct.
I do like Boston to win the game. Again, I didn't bet that. I just wanted to throw that out there if anybody was looking for a lead.
John?
Same thing. I would have liked an over, and when I do my modeling every day, like it's very objective, right? It's a set of mathematic formulas, nerdy weighted averages with like a million inputs. That said, we can't account for weather. When I have to make a weather adjustment, I actually put little like emojis up for people. There's like a tornado emoji, and then either up that it's blowing out or down that it's blowing in case people are wondering, like, man, what's going on? Why are we not seeing this that way? That's the problem there in Boston, because man, you really like Tanner Houck at one point, but we got to hit the point where you're wondering if he's broken, and I've never really been into Lively. The thing with Houck is, for a guy that's like a ground ball machine, you ever seen a ground ball machine give up so many home runs? It's highly unusual for a pitcher to habitually rack up plus 50% ground ball rates, but have home run rates over 2, over 3 per 9. That's a huge red flag. would have been with you. I would have been leaning Cleveland money line, but without knowing about the bullpen, and the wind blowing in, I probably pumped the brakes because my gut was over and money line, but it's wind blowing in a doubleheader, so I'm like, no.
Yeah, I agreed. Let's move on to some real stuff here. We're in Minnesota with Woods. We're out in Minnesota.
That was so good.
Angels on the road. Kikuchi starting against Woods Richardson. I've been pretty vocal about not being a Woods Richardson guy. Even when he's pitching well, he's still only going to give you 15 outs. Like, he's just not a guy I can trust. He's not a bet on guy for me. Maybe if you're someone who bets first fives like John, you could find spots to play Woods Richardson. I'm not a fan of the guy. But that being said, I mean, the Angels have failed to get to, I think it's like 4 or 5 righty starters in a row. The Angels were hitting righties earlier in the season. They seem to be cooling off in that department. If there was ever a time for Woods Richardson to pitch a game where he goes 6 innings, it might be this one at home against the Angels. So if there was ever a time, again, not a Woods Richardson guy, but if there was ever a time to put your faith in him, I think it's here. And on the other side, really not sure what to think about the Twins lineup against lefties. I mean, they haven't really touched any of them, but they rocked Chris Sale, who I believe was the last lefty they saw. So the Twins have terrible numbers against lefties, except the last lefty they saw was Chris Sale, and they smoked him. So I really don't know what to think about the Twins versus lefties. Let me check John, what do you think about this one?
Dude, all right, this one, it's funny, we're making similar arguments. We're leaning the other way, but it's the same argument like this something's got to give argument going on. So, all right, so first to Kikuchi, who I really kind of liked after the reclamation project went down in Houston. He cleaned up the walks. He cleaned up the home runs. He came out of the box struggling. Last 2 starts, I know he had a bunch of walks in the last one, but he's only given up 1 home run. So that's kind of my sticking point right now. The rest of the stuff under the hood is not terrible. It's not terrible. He's gotten his Ks. He's suppressed some hard contact. And, he's kind of been deaf on all lefties as usual. You mentioned the Woods Richardson thing. He's the guy I really have trouble sinking my teeth into. Because not only is it's 15 outs maximum.
Dude.
Baldelli doing Baldelli things like it's Woods, Richardson. All of his guys. Even when Festa shoves for 4 1/3, there's a chance he's coming out. So Woods Richardson, if you're watching him, and I think this is where the model is picking up on. So Richardson has struggled with the cold strikes, right? His CSW is down below 23, which is like, gosh, I don't have the entire league out, but what's
CSW cold strike?
It's cold strikes plus whiffs, although it's the W part of CSW is misleading because it's actually swinging strike. My buddies at Pitcher List that invented this thing, I don't think they intended for it to take off the way it did, and you hear it cited on broadcast, so it's become part of like the vernacular or whatever. But yeah, the CSW, the W part is actually swinging strike, so it's cold strike plus swinging strike, but it's a really good indicator of cold strikes if you're getting them over. And he hasn't. Woods Richardson's zone contact is over in the 90s, 58 fly ball, 50 hard hit, 23 barrel. The reason I mention those is because that's the only thing that the Angels have done. If you follow my show or my work, one of the labels that we kind of have is a sellout team. Sellout team meaning like they sell out for power. So if you look at the Angels on the season versus righties, I think they're like the consummate sellout team they are, right? So yes, we get it. Like they're not good. They strike out a lot. They swing and miss a lot. That's not really Richardson's game. But, big shaking ass, right? Lots of line drives, lots of pulled balls. They hit home runs, and the expected WOBA to contact that. It's not really the best damage metric. It's xWOBA isolated just to contact only on. xWOBA on contact only is, I guess, the mouthful of it. That's where the Angels have been good. That's the only thing they do. So this is like movable force and stoppable object. You also mentioned Twins versus lefties. Easily their weak suit, right? Twins. It was funny that the Sale thing is what it is. That said, Twins on the season versus lefties. 33% strikeout. 33% strikeout. They have a 48 WRC plus versus lefties on the season. So give me Kikuchi and the Angels too. Oh, we get to use it. Get up off the mat through 5. Oh, Chris?
God damn it! I need sounds.
I need it every day. We need it every day.
Well, hold on.
Dude, it's my crack. It's my crack.
Let me just make sure I got the correct pick. It's Angels first 5 money line.
Yeah, and I got it right at or around even money. I'm not sure. I was up really early, but it's the market's actually gone against me. I think I had plus 102. Now I'm seeing plus 109. So the market not buying it. I get it. People want to dogpile the Angels. I get it. So maybe if you like the pick, you could wait until game time. Maybe you see they're going to keep moving.
I kind of like the Twins here, if I'm being honest.
Listen, the Angels suck. I get it. The Angels suck.
What do you think, Toast?
It would be Twins or pass. I don't think I'm actually going to bet. I don't have a lot of bets on the board today. But it would only be the Angels. I'm sorry, it would only be the Twins for me. Let's just start with we'll start with SWR. Again, they've already touched on all that. I don't need to go into it anymore. I do think as far as the bullpen is concerned, I'm not really worried about Minnesota's bullpen in general. I know that they used Varland last night, but they have Duran, they have Jax.
Yeah.
They're two major arms. And to be honest, I would assume that Varland is more than likely to pitch again as well. So they will have their top 3 arms available. Not that LA won't, but I do think that Kikuchi could run into some troubles here. Again, I say troubles, take that with a grain of salt. It is the Angels and it is the Twins, but
right.
Kikuchi, very, very good versus lefty bats, really not necessarily good versus righty bats. He's going to see maybe 1-2 lefty bats in that Minnesota lineup today. Again, do I trust Minnesota bats to come correct against a pitcher that they have an advantage against? No, but again, I do feel like they have an advantage there. The Angels bats, I just really think we're going to have to be careful with going forward. So I know that they put a couple off Mazinski, but besides that, it's a whole bunch of 1s and 2s there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, at this point, Kumar Rocker is at a point where he might have to go back down to AAA to get things figured out. So when you're putting up, the only time when you're only putting up 3 runs against guys that probably are going to be in AAA next month, it's just really hard for me to trust you as an offense as a whole. So it would only be Twins for me.
I'm putting up Twins too, but it's
fair.
And to be fair, in the first 5, I don't hate the Angels at plus 109. So, but a full game, I would lean Twins.
If it was juice attached to the Angels, I would not be on it.
Yeah.
Even if it was minus 120, I would not be on it. It was the plus money, even money that I was into because, like I said, I think we have the edge. We've seen a few pitchers kind of turn it around, maybe head back to what we thought of last year. I guess we'll see.
Toast, you went right back. We're into Brewers Cardinals, by the way, and Toast went right back to the well of the bet. Well, actually, I shouldn't say he went back to the well. He took the bet that I lost with yesterday, which is the Brewers first 5.
I thought you won that.
No, I didn't because freaking the Brewers Liberator, they couldn't score off.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Brewers first 5 for me. I got them. I got the Brewers first 5
plus
last
140
night at plus 140. I've actually lost value. No way. There's no way. Okay, I'm gonna rebet this again at plus 150. That's how I feel about
double
this.
down.
Okay. I am. This makes absolutely no sense. I thought I was gonna beat this by 10 cents. Okay. I think that we're severely underestimating how good the Brewers offense is versus right-handed pitching. You can make the case about their versus lefties. You can talk about how bad their bullpen is, all that good stuff. I wouldn't argue for 1 second about it. But I do think this is at minimum, a top 10 offense in Major League Baseball versus right-handed pitching. And now they're going to be facing a guy in Sonny Gray who I will give you has looked somewhat decent to start the year. But at the same time, I mean, he's facing teams like the Mets, Houston, Pittsburgh, and the Angels and Minnesota. None of those teams are even remotely close to how good Milwaukee is versus right-handed pitching at home or on the road. I don't really care. And it's not like I will give you that it's not like the Brewers are seeing a whole bunch of fantastic right-handed pitching. I mean, I will say that the Giants starters, I know they haven't performed well or much better than they are with Rupp, Webb, and Hicks. Severino looked pretty decent so far. I mean, Kyler Montero, JT Ginn, not very good, but Jack Flaherty, Zach Gallen, Corbin Burns, all those guys are pretty damn big names. So, I mean, yes, is there a couple guys that you can say, yeah, those aren't good, but there's also a couple guys that are in the upper echelon of righty starters that they've touched up as well. So I don't really worry about the Brewers offense taking on Sonny Gray. I think it's a big step up in class for Sonny Gray. And the Brewers have been touching guys like this all year. And then as far as the Brewers pitching in Quinn Priester. I really like Quinn Priester. I really like what we've seen from him so far. Obviously, it's a small sample size with San Francisco, Detroit, and Colorado, but he's been fantastic. I know he gave up 2 runs against San Francisco, and it's the walks that's the issue. But if he gets those walks down, I really think that I think we have a huge advantage here. If he walks 4 guys and gives up 2 runs, I still think we're in this game through 5. But regardless, I just have a hard time believing he's going to continue to walk the guys that he is. I know this Cardinals offense has been pretty good at home, but at the same time, versus the righty starters, they're really not doing anything versus righty starters. Again, have they faced some decent ones? Sure. Elder, Schwellenbach, Holmes, Senga, Cannon, Blanco, Brown, Wheeler, Nola, but I mean, a lot of those guys, especially like Wheeler and Nola, it's all name value. It's not like those guys are pitching extremely well this year. So you have to, again, those are the little things that I take into consideration here. So not to mention the Cardinals are terrible versus his pitch mix. The only pitch that they really touch well is a changeup that he throws less than 10% of the time. So I just feel like at this number's absolutely crazy. I don't know if I'm missing something, but I'm going to be betting the Brewers again at plus 150 in the first 5. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
I don't see any reason to limit it to the first 5. Helsley
because I don't trust the bullpen for 1 second.
Yeah, but the Cardinals bullpen, they used all their main arms last night. I didn't bet it, but I'll put up Brewers. That's the only way I'd go. What do you think, John?
Man, it's funny. I think it happens once a show though. Like we're so diametrically opposed to each other. I tell you, man, it's my favorite part about working with you guys that we don't serve up the same stuff to each other, you know. And
it's
again,
more fun when we're against each other.
Yeah, I prefer to be on the opposite of Kyle, actually.
Toast was, if you saw, I had this stupid Cheshire Cat smile on my face when he started. One thing, like, I wonder what happened. Listen, not to pat myself on the back, but we had something to do with it. I had a heavy print on the Cardinals this morning, and the line started moving after that came out. I have there's a few heavy bettors and a few operators that follow my stuff because they've reached out to me. That's the only reason I know. So my model is going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for the fucking Cardinals today, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just stuff I value. It's the inputs I got. I have a tremendous disparity between, Priester, yes, is a sub-2 ERA. He has a 1.43 whip. His expected ERA is like 5.5. He has almost as many walks as he does Ks. But it's not just the walks. It's the ball rate is over 42. The first strike rate below 55, and he doesn't induce any chases whatsoever. He does keep the ball down, and that's kind of going to be his saving grace if they get away with it. But man, Sonny Gray, who I was very, very worried about coming into the season because he finished with the forearm injury. He's kind of dialed down the velo and he's doing like the pitcher thing. I mean, sub-1 whip, 3 Sierra, 3.5 walk rate, 30% CSW. He really looks fucking sharp.
Hey, can I ask you a question, John?
Yeah.
And this is dead serious. I'm not like making a joke.
Yeah.
What do you consider? How do you? I don't know how to ask this. Do you put much stock in Sonny Gray pitching anywhere from 75 to 85 pitches or 80 pitches his first 3 starts, and then 102 and 92 back to back? Do you downgrade him at all or anything like that, or is that just something that you just kind of deal with and say he's gonna have to be honest,
at really having my focus on F5, that stuff just kind of comes out of the wash. Yeah. Okay. Again, these are all great points, and it kind of leads into how interested I get when you speak about bullpens, because I think you're the guy that bridges. You're the best guy to bridge my F5 model into an F9 pick. Because that's like that frog DNA, like in Jurassic Park. We have enough information to kind of put it together, but we need to make a couple jumps. Here's your frog DNA reference. That would really matter. If I was going full game, that's got to be scrutinized. Okay. Even at 85 pitches, I'm kind of assuming the 5 innings. So for me, I don't really pay much mind to it. Though I'd be a bit worried about the Cardinals' money line and paying that shit. And that was what I mentioned on my show today, because their bullpen is gone and they've been shaky. I got to address though. The Milwaukee offense, I'm not seeing it.
You laid the half run with the Cardinals?
No, I didn't. I hate doing that. Though that number looks like it may have come down. I thought that was minus.
So I'm seeing minus 159 for the Cardinals' first 5 money line.
I've got a minus 180 on the money line right now.
Oh, you can get a yeah, Bet Rivers. Yeah, you can't. No one.
Yeah, I've got minus 180.
Who can bet that?
I was talking about. I thought you meant the run line. Even the run line has moved to where I don't really like to lay 125, 130 for the run line.
No, me neither.
You're under the gun to cover that. I catch a lot of guff from it. I have followers and stuff that do bet that, and I take some shit from them when they bet it and hit it. I just don't. I really feel like I'm under the gun. Hold on, I want to address the Milwaukee offense because maybe I'm missing it against righties. Like, yeah, we've had production, but that's normally where I start digging into like the nerdy stuff, right? Okay. Yeah, you're getting average. You get batting average, but it's a very high BABIP. You get OBP because of the walk rate. So I would absolutely agree and assert that disciplinary metrics are excellent. Right? They walk, they don't swing and miss, they don't chase, they win in the zone. But the Brewers are a ground ball machine. They have the second highest ground ball rate against righties on the season. They have a bottom 3 pull rate, if not the worst pull rate, and a 7% barrel rate. Those are all things that kind of Gray is really good at. So if you're going to rely, what I'm saying, I mean the Brewers, if the Brewers are going to rely on patient stretching counts because they don't stretch those disciplinary metrics, Gray's up there filling the zone. So I don't know if I'm really buying the Brewers offense. Although if I like him, I think I like him against bad pitching. I don't think Gray is that. So I do like St. Louis to win and St. Louis through 5. I just was struggling to pay the free.
I think the Brewers are going to get to the Cardinals bullpen. It's taxed. They used all their main arms, but all right.
Yeah, I think I'm almost like forced to bet the Brewers at this number, but yeah.
But you guys are talking about full game, right?
Yeah, well, he had first 5.
I had first 5 already. I might go to full game.
That one I couldn't. That one I don't think you could sell me on because I think Gray going to be strong for 5. Maybe Priester is 2, but that one feels a little close. But again, maybe it comes out in the wash with the odds.
No, I agree. It felt close. That's why I took them at plus 140.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I didn't think it was that close.
You should know that there's absolutely a world where all of these things kind of work together. You know, where the Cardinals are good through 5, maybe it pushes. Maybe it's a 0-0 push, 1-1 push.
Okay with the push.
Then that pitch count with Gray and the bullpen comes into effect and the Brewers get the win. You know what I mean? Where like all of these things can still kind of be congruent.
All right, let's move on to Reds, Rockies in Coors. I feel like the range of outcomes in terms of the Rockies offense is pretty great here. Wouldn't be surprised at all if the Rockies put up 6 on Hunter Green. In fact, Hunter Green's last 2 trips to Coors Field, he got rocked. I believe he gave up 8 runs in his last 2 starts here in Coors Field. 10 runs in his last 2 starts here at Coors Field. So wouldn't be surprised at all if Hunter Green gets rocked. And if that's the case, I mean, probably sales up and over 10.5. Last I checked, the wind was blowing out. We're in Coors Field, which is basically on another planet in terms of the pressure or the barometric, whatever the fuck. So I think it should sail over the total. I said over, but I'm a little. I also see a world where Hunter Green pitches a good game, so I didn't actually pull the trigger on it. John, what are your thoughts on Hunter Green here at Coors?
Man, I love Hunter Green, and I wish he wasn't pitching in Coors. This kind of pisses me off because these are my favorite spots to bet the guys I like. Because Hunter Green is objectively phenomenal, and he's coming off a very poor start, so I love the buy low opportunity. But you just can't do it in Coors. You just can't do it. I tried it yesterday with Abbott, and it's freaking stupid. The Reds were lucky to get away with it. They also blew like 4 different leads in that game. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I had Rockies money line, bro. Painful.
Yeah, I honestly, yeah. Listen, that was.
I thought I was going to get it.
Dude, they had a million shots.
A million shots.
But a big part of it, and this you hear, this isn't just spreadsheet jargon. You hear this from the actual pitchers, but it reflects in the Hawkeye data also is you mentioned, dude, you nailed it. It's a different fucking planet. The ball literally spins, moves, shaped pitches differently. Then once it's off the bat, it moves differently.
Yes.
The Magnus effect of the spin from the impact moves differently. Coors, and I've been saying this for years, and I stepped in the trap yesterday anyway. It's over or nothing. Coors is over or nothing because it's a BABIP haven. Unlike Cincinnati, where Cincinnati's a home run park. Colorado's not really a home run park. Colorado is a BABIP park, and it's a walk park because, again, breaking stuff doesn't move the way it should. So, yeah, I don't necessarily love the over because I still like Green, and I still think the Rockies offense sucks, man. I just don't think they're any good. Anytime they produce, they need to take a half a dozen walks. Even with them, they're playing their best baseball of the year right now. They're batting 204 as a team for a week. Like, they're so bad. So, yeah, I would pump the brakes, but for me, I'm trying to keep that rule to the 4 is over or nothing.
You know how many times I've angrily turned the TV off during a Rockies home game? This is stupid.
Yeah.
Like this stadium is stupid. Why is it allowed? So many times. I hate this stadium. Toast, did you end up making a play in this one?
I didn't. I kind of want to bet the over as well. Just a couple things. They talked about Hunter Green. Obviously, we know Tella. Probably not a guy that we can. Yo, John, we respect greatness on this show, okay? So I try to make sure that I don't say anything I'm going to regret later.
He doesn't get it. He's the worst. I got paid fading him last time. No, wasn't he terrible?
Oh, yeah. He was terrible. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, and a win against the Nationals. He was terrible,
John. You pitched a gem, John.
Keep hating.
Honestly, John might be classified as a hater of the Tella.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was only the 2 starts before that where he gave up, 12 earned in 8 innings.
Right. Well, yeah, and then you forgot the 2 starts prior to that where he didn't give up any at all.
You rubbed those in my face, too. My gosh.
Yo, you got to respect the GOAT,
honestly,
bro.
John doesn't get it. John doesn't get it. Man. He doesn't get it.
Clearly.
No ice water references today, Mr. Lunch Pail, ice water veins.
The Tella just pitched a gem, kind of due to get shelled, if you ask me.
I agree. I kind of due to get shelled. 100% agree with that. And then on top of the fact that I don't think that we can expect Hunter Green to go 7 innings, 8 2/3 innings up here in Coors. Maybe that's possible. I don't think that is. And if that's the case, why don't you flip over to that Cincinnati bullpen? Not in a good situation here. Pagan, 2 of the last 3 days. Santillan, 3 of the last 4 days. Ashcraft, 26 pitches yesterday. Taylor Rogers went yesterday as well. So I do think that there's room for the Rockies to score later on in this game. I don't know if they touched on the weather, but the weather in Coors Field today is just absolutely beautiful for run scoring. 75 degrees, double-digit wind blowing out.
Yep, correct.
Let's do it.
Well, here's the thing. What I wanted to do was go right back to the Rockies. I got a nice number last night at plus 114. Thought I had a really good shot of winning that baseball game. Didn't get it. Now I'm getting plus 164. I think Hunter Green could get rocked. So I'm like, yo, let me play on this 164. The problem is, it's just looking at this matchup, I think it's very possible the Reds come out top 1 and put 4 in on Senzatella, and then Hunter Green's taking the mound with a 4-run lead. And I'm like, what the hell did I do? Like,
yeah. No, I feel that.
Let's move on.
Now, what about? I bet you the F5. It's juice because it's in Coors. Let's say Colorado's F5 team total is only 1.5, which is kind of sexy, but it's at minus 155, which is very pricey. But man, 2 runs through 5 against anybody in Coors, you have to have the antenna up.
Right. White Sox Athletics in Sacramento. We actually talked about this game for like a weirdly long time last night, like way too long. Trevor liked the White Sox first 5.
I kind of like the White Sox the more I look at it too.
Well, me and Toast ended up betting this, John. Well, actually, I shouldn't speak for Toast. I ended up betting it. I took the White Sox team total over 3.5 at minus 105.
Oh, that's right. We did do that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, John, did you bet it with me, Toast?
Yeah.
Okay, so, John, here were our thoughts last night on this. So we both took the White Sox team total over. Jeffrey Springs has not looked impressive. We're getting over 3.5 for the full game at minus 105. The A's bullpen is taxed. They used a lot of their arms. I'll pull it up right here. Mason Miller is not going to be available. Justin Sterner is not going to be available. So we're talking about a relatively taxed A's bullpen. Jeffrey Springs that hasn't looked all that good in a ballpark where runs are scored, and we're getting a 3.5 at minus 105. Those were our thoughts.
Yep, took the words right out of my mouth. I would have loved to bet the White Sox here, but I can't back Cannon. If we had Shane Smith going tonight, or maybe look, or Berkey looks like he might be turning the corner again, and maybe he's going to be decent. When those guys are out there, I'm smashing the White Sox F5 just all day, every day, without looking twice. I've been feeding Poland Springs from the get-go. People have been hanging on to this, what was it, maybe 2022?
With the Rays?
He had didn't Springs have a brilliant season? But it was like 3 years ago now. And he sits at 90 or below, like you said, in a bad spot. It's very easy to dogpile the White Sox offense. I get it. They're very dislikable. There's not much that they do. But I have picked up the past couple weeks. They're getting more aggressive. The swing rate is popping. They're putting the ball in the air and stuff like that, which will help you in that ballpark. So I love the idea of not having to deal with the White Sox needing to pitch, because the starting pitching is still kind of a disaster. And the A's offense can be a lot of fun. But, we talk about them being the fake sharp team all season. This is a good way to get at the A's. So just look for the team total on the other side, because they do have guys that mash, right? My hitter model had a bunch of guys had Butler ringing today and Langoliers ringing today. So you'd hate to have the White Sox score 5 or 6 and you not get the win. That's like a worst case scenario. So I love that play.
So you like
Athletics? Did you say minus 105 on the team total?
Well, we got White Sox. We're on White Sox.
Wait, no. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm saying
you want to take it with us?
Yeah, sure. I'm saying you would hate for the White Sox to score 5 or 6 runs but lose the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude. You will. I said this last night. If you ever catch yourself betting on Jonathan Cannon on the road, just know you've taken a wrong turn somewhere.
Yeah.
You've made a mistake.
Yeah, you're right. Right, dude, you're nailing it. The team totals is a way to eliminate those variables. That's the best way to do it. Really sharp stuff. It is.
All right, cool. Let's move on. John agrees with us.
And also, I just wanted to throw out two. Not that it matters too much, but the lefty starters, the White Sox numbers aren't great, but they've also faced Crochet twice. I mean, Newcomb. I mean, Kikuchi, Logan Allen. Again, not that those are like upper echelon arms. Well, Crochet is, but again, with a small sample size, it makes sense why their numbers aren't really that great so far.
Now for my biggest bet of the day. Bad news is it's long gone.
I was gonna say, but good news is we were dead right.
Yeah, we were dead on. But so if you watched the show last night or you're in the Discord, you got this. As soon as the Rangers brought out their main bullpen arms last night, we hammered the Giants. I got minus 118. I thought it would close around minus 130. It's actually minus 135. So the situation here is Texas has nobody to pitch the end of this game. And I mean nobody. There's no Robert Garcia. There's no Chris Martin. There's no Luke Jackson. So, by the way, I think the Giants have a very good chance of getting to Tyler Mahle. First of all, shout out to Tyler Mahle. Great to see him pitching well. Dude, if 2021, Tyler Mahle at home in Great American Ballpark was like automatic. So I have a soft spot in my heart for Tyler Mahle because I've won a lot of bets on Tyler Mahle. So I'm glad to see he's pitching well. I think the Giants could get to him. I know the Giants' bats have cooled off a little bit, but the beauty of it is, even if the Giants don't get to Tyler Mahle, even if the Giants are down a couple runs entering the 6th, 7th inning, I mean, we are still very much alive because the Rangers have nobody to pitch the late innings of this game. So I'm on the Giants money line. I got it at minus 118. I'd probably still bet it at the minus 135, to be honest. I would probably price this at like minus 150, minus 155. So yeah, I got the Giants at a great number.
Same thing as Sauce. I'm on the Giants as well. The only thing couple things I wanted to point out is, again, I love Mahle as well, but like I said yesterday, and we saw it a couple times yesterday, these pitchers that come in here with, back-to-back shutouts or shutouts in 3 of the last 4 or whatever, sooner or later that dam's going to break. That doesn't mean that I think that Mahle's going to fall off a cliff and become a fade and everything like that, but to continue to pitch 7 innings of essentially shutout baseball, his last start, he had some walks. The walks started to pile up, but he'd almost been pitching almost perfectly his first few starts. So sooner or later, I just feel like that dam is going to break. And this San Francisco offense, I do think is, turning the corner a little bit. I also feel like they faced some decent pitching staffs. I mean, Freddie Peralta is pretty decent. I mean, the Phillies isn't really bad, but my point is I don't think that this Giants offense is as bad as people make it out to be. And especially at home, I like them a lot more. And as far as Robbie Ray is concerned, first of all, this Texas lineup, when you take Corey Seager out of it, it really is completely different, especially when you consider that guys like Marcus Semien aren't doing anything. I mean, they've taken Marcus Semien out of the leadoff role. I mean, you might have somebody like Kevin Pillar leading off for you guys. Like, literally the only bat in the Texas lineup that I even consider decent, and he's very good, is Wyatt Langford. Yeah. But besides that, there's really not anybody on that Texas lineup. If you go up and down that list, it's like, damn, he might be able to get us today. Is it very possible that Adolis Garcia closes his eyes and makes contact and it goes a far away? Sure, 1 in 100. But besides that, that's all you really have to worry about. I really like San Francisco here today. I know that Robbie Ray hasn't looked fantastic, but at the same time, Milwaukee, Philly, New York, Seattle, Cincinnati. I mean, take out Seattle. I mean, those are some pretty decent offenses, and he plays Cincinnati in Cincinnati. So, I just think there's a lot of things to like for the Giants today.
I don't even really like Robbie Ray. I just love the matchup.
I don't
either,
either,
at the end
but
of
I
this
don't
game.
think he's as bad as people give him credit for.
As far as the first 5, I think it's a coin flip, maybe even slightly leaning Texas, but I just love the advantage for the Giants in the late innings here. John, what are your thoughts?
Man, we got it. Best friends forced to do battle. Yeah, I'm actually. It's funny you mentioned that. I like the Texas F5. Although it happens once every show, guys. This is the double result. This is the double to me. This is my double result.
All right.
This is my Texas F5 San Francisco money line double result.
Perfect.
I spent the entire time you guys are going trying to find that stupid bet, and I cannot find it. I was even under the specific game, looking everywhere. That is totally my pick because I like Molly, but I worry about the depth. The Giants' offense is kind of falling off. Even though to a man, I don't hate them. I really don't. But they're on the fucking struggle bus the last week or even 2 weeks. The thing that I like about Texas, and I don't love that offense, I think Toast kind of nailed it, is they also do the sellout thing. So Texas on the year, again, it's not good. They're batting .224. They've even struck out, lost in the zone. However, right, 44.5 fly ball, 42 hard hit, 13.5 barrel, 349 xWOBA. That's all the stuff how you get to Robbie Ray. Because Robbie Ray is slowly, unfortunately, for people that were backing him, he's kind of transforming back into that guy that sucked. I mean, on the season, I know it's only 24 and a third, but he's got a 5 expected ERA, a 5 Sierra, 17% walk rate, 42% ball rate, 51 fly ball, 14% barrel, and 2 homer 9. I mean, that it's very hard to back that, especially we know his history. So I'm gonna need, like Toast said, we're gonna need a Langford home run to get us to the 1-0-2-1 F5 result that I'm looking for. But then after that, do not bet on Texas to win this game. There's literally nobody left. I don't even know who's gonna go.
Hobie Milner is gonna have to pitch a serious inning. Jacob Webb. Dude,
he's being serious too.
I mean, Tyler Mahle better give him 6. If Tyler Mahle's out of there in 4 innings, I don't even know who's pitching at the end of this game. Jacob Blatz?
Not only have all their guys gone, they've all thrown double-digit pitches. They've all gone back-to-back days, and they're all on 3 out of 4.
Yeah, there's no chance that they're pitching. There's no chance.
It's like Jacob Webb and Sean Armstrong are going to get. How many innings are these guys even going to get? You can't put them in high leverage spots. Yeah, you got to like the Giants for the win, but I do think, again, this is a price-driven one. I wouldn't have lead -135 on Texas, but you can put me down for Texas F5 at even money.
Yeah, I don't even hate that pick. Like I said, I'm not betting on Robbie Ray at all. This is a bet on innings 6 through 9.
Do you guys live bet? Because that
Sometimes.
Also kind of fits into this kind of analysis that we're doing is.
Yeah.
Almost no matter where this one is after 5.
A lot of times we have it kind of, I don't want to say planned out, but we'll be like, okay, we're not going to bet this game, but if Team A goes up by 2 and it's under the 5th and we're getting 2-1 on our money and we know the bullpen's bad, we'll take a shot.
Yeah, we have it planned
that's how
out.
I feel about this one. That's how I feel about this one.
Yeah.
Phillies are in Wrigley. Line moved towards Philadelphia a little bit. I guess because Lazar.
Yeah.
John, what?
I think I'm part of this one too.
You're on the Phillies.
Yeah, well, I didn't pull the trigger as I was doing my quick express show this morning. I was saying that I probably should have because just going by the model, I do have them ahead through 5. I have them just squeaking it out through 9, but the price was there at the time. I didn't really see how far. Yeah, man, it was more like -103 this morning. Now it's -111. The weather, I think, is also a part of it. The wind blowing in the way it is, I think, is a boost for Philly because the main worry in this game, if you were looking to back the Phillies, would be the Cubs' offense. Brown can be impactful on a permanent basis, but man, the more I see of him, the less like I'm buying whatever it is he's fucking selling me. He's trying to sell me, man. He throws some of those. He's another pitching ninja guy. He's a pitching ninja guy. If you and I love Rob. I got mad love for Rob, a pitching ninja.
He's
but
awesome,
you got to be careful. Because he'll post GIFs of guys. They're like, look at this 2-pitch sequence, and it's a fucking wiffle ball, and he makes some 9-hitter look absolutely ridiculous. But that in itself doesn't really stand alone. The sample is still small, but it is growing. I worry about the command. I worry about the control. He's walking batters. He doesn't induce chases. And then when he comes into the zone, he's getting squared up and giving up home runs. The big mystery for me is this damn Phillies offense. I mean, will the real Trey Turner please stand up? Dude, this guy is like a perennial all-star, maybe even like MVP vote getter right now. not MVP winner.
Stop
an MVP
it.
kind of
You can't play
vote-getter.
defense, John. He's not an MVP. Come on.
Oh man, maybe it's me. Maybe I have the fantasy goggles on, man. I'm
Honestly, it's just a testament to what happens when you enter that disgusting city. You just lose.
the stain, the brotherly love gets on you. It's hard to get off. Yeah, that's been the thing, is the Phillies offense that I thought, listen, I mean, to the man, come on. We're talking Treyer and Harper and Schwarber and Castellanos and even Baum and Stott. This offense should be raking, and they're not. This line shouldn't be as close as it is, but it is. I would hold my nose and bet Philly at 5. I think it's gonna end up on my ticket today, but
Wow.
I don't love it. I really like Luzardo. I do.
I'll put Philly's first 5 money line up for you. I mean, mine would be the opposite. I don't bet it, but mine would be Cubs or pass.
Yeah, listen, if you're telling me you like the Cubs offense, hard to argue against that.
It's not even
very good split against lefties also.
It's not even that. It's also the Cubs got the win without using any of their main bullpen arms. Not the Cubs bullpen hasn't even been good, but all their main arms are available. So I don't see any reason to. I'm not betting it because the Phillies are going to win one at some point. Maybe it's this one. But I look, Luzardo's the man. He looks official. He looks like the 2023 Luzardo.
Yep.
But for what evidence do we have that the Phillies are able to hit Ben Brown even? I don't see any, and the Phillies bullpen hasn't been good. The Cubs bullpen isn't good, but if you're comparing it to the Phillies bullpen, it's been all right.
What about the middle innings though? Brown is not really a distance guy. I had to check. I put up I have some prop columns. Whatever. People that follow me know, if you ever hook up on my sheets and there's something missing that you'd like to see, I'll put it up. Someone was asking me to put up pitches per plate appearance and then pitches per game started. And Brown's been efficient, 3.3 3/4 pitches per plate appearance, but he's only getting 85 pitches per game started. That's where I would worry about the ML. Normally we're really aligned with that. Although, I don't know, I hate the Phillies bullpen. I would not bet them for 9 innings.
Yeah.
I would want either side for 9 innings.
Toast, did you end up pulling the trigger on this one?
No, I
He
just don't
sounds so
understand.
sad.
No, he took a loss on the Phillies money line yesterday. That's why.
It would only be the Phillies for me. I can go through why. First of all, I get that Ben Brown has looked good his last 2 starts, but let's not forget he got blown up his first 2 starts against the Padres and Athletics. So obviously you got to give him a round of applause for pitching out of his mind on the road in LA against the Dodgers, and then at home against Arizona. But I think that was a weather game. I'm not positive on that, but regardless, I mean, he had 4 walks in that game, and that's my issue with Ben Brown. If you're going to give this Philadelphia team extra passes, he's had 8 walks his last 3 starts. The only time that he didn't have a walk was that start against the Dodgers. But besides that, he's had a little bit of a walk issue, especially his last 3 starts. I will give you that the Phillies offense isn't nearly as good as those 3, the Padres, Dodgers, and Arizona, so he might not have to nibble for very long. But if he's not in this game for very long, which he usually doesn't go very long, I know that the Cubs didn't use their major bullpen arms yesterday, but at the same time, and I will get to the Phillies side, but at the same time, I mean, the Phillies saw all the mid bullpen arms for the Cubs yesterday, and the only ones that they didn't bring in, I guess Roberts and Merriweather are okay, but Porter Hodge hasn't been that great. I trust Presley as well, but if Presley's in the game, I probably already lost either way. So I do think there's avenues for the Phillies to score runs here, even if Ben Brown pitches well. Again, my issue is I don't know how long I'm going to get out of Luzardo. I mean, it's cold and windy there today, and he's obviously a Miami type of guy. And I'm kind of making a joke about that, but dead seriously, I don't know if you can count on him to go 7 here. The Phillies bullpen is fine and good to go, so you don't have to worry about that. But I mean, do we really trust that bullpen? No. But they should have Alvarado, Strahm, and Kirkring. I mean, all good to go. Kirkring only went 10 pitches yesterday, so if Luzardo can get through 6, he should be okay here. You can put the Phillies up for me. I don't know if I actually end up betting it or not. The weather here is just absolutely insane. It's 45 degrees with 15 or 10 or 12 mile an hour winds blowing in. So
straight in. Yep.
I would assume I would assume the under hits as well. That would be my guess. So you can put the Phillies up for me. I'm probably going to end up passing. I really want to bet them, but I don't want to get burned again.
So Toast picks the Phillies again after yesterday.
Wait, what happened yesterday? I forgot what happened yesterday.
He had the Phillies money line, and it was the disaster.
John, I don't like when everybody gets together and a big circle jerk and says, "Yeah, let's bet this together." I love it. I just don't like
John.
it. I don't like that. I don't like when everybody's on the same play. Like, I don't like that. Like, if everybody's tailing me, I guess it is what it is. But I don't like when everybody on the I don't like when everybody gets on Twitter and it's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this today. This is what we're betting. Everybody bet this. Yay!" And they got it yesterday. They got the Cubs and they got the Reds yesterday. That was like everybody. And so all those weekend warriors are all feeling really good about themselves right now.
Oh man, I got so many notifications on the Reds. Yes, I managed to escape with by the skin of my fucking teeth. But I know whenever Derek Hardy and I are on different sides, a lot of people use our work in accordance. And now, granted, you probably lean heavier towards him, but he liked the Rockies. He had Freeland yesterday and the Rockies, and I was like, oh man, I'm not like, oh, I'm right and Cardi's wrong. I'm normally like sweating my balls off, going, oh man, what did I do wrong? But it was the same thing I mentioned. It was stupid to look to pitching cores. I should have just played team totals, and everybody wins. Everybody wins in that case.
Agreed.
So the next game up is Mets on the road in DC, and I bet this. I bet the Mets -1.5. Not one of my bigger bets, but
okay.
I've said this a number of times. Never overreact to when the Mets see Jake Irvin. He just owns us. We can never hit that guy. I don't know why. For whatever reason, we can never hit Jake Irvin. So I would never take a game against Jake Irvin as any sort of worry about the Mets bats. I mean, the Nationals bullpen used some arms yesterday. They're probably not going to have Finnegan. If they do, he's heavily used. They're not going to have Ferrer, Jorge Lopez, 2 of the last 3. So this is an awful Nats bullpen, missing key pieces. So even if by some grace of God, the Mets are unable to get to Brad Lord, they could probably score 7 in the last 3 innings of this game. I just think we should see runs here from the Mets. Look, do I necessarily blindly trust Clay Holmes? No, but I really like what I've seen from Clay Holmes his last couple of outings. I mean, the story with Clay Holmes, and me and Toast were just talking about this last night. If you watch the show, you probably heard us say it a couple times. But the story with Clay Holmes, his first few starts, he looked great through the order a couple times, and then he get into the fifth inning and he would implode. And that happened 3 starts in a row, and that was becoming the MO. Then in the Twins game, pitches into the 5th, has a shutout going, loads the bases with no outs. This is his 4th start. We're like, oh, here we go again. Clay Holmes pitches great, implodes in the 5th. He pitched his way out of that. And ever since then, I mean, he followed that up with an excellent start. And I think that was a turning point. I think Clay Holmes is going to start pitching really well. He's already pitching pretty well. And those 5th inning implosions seem to be in the past. So I'm pretty confident in Clay Holmes. I know the Nats bats were hot there. They're pretty on and off. And maybe if the Nats have one of their explosive offensive days, maybe I could be in trouble here. But even if the Nats score 5 runs, I still think I could cash this. Honestly, I think the Mets should put up a crooked number. So I'm on the Mets -1.5. Toast, you bet it with me, right?
Yep, Mets -1.5. Can't really add much to what he said, besides the fact that I can't really add much because the Clay Holmes thing is what I wanted to touch on. But I also, I guess I will say this. I know that Washington has looked, I guess, somewhat decent the last few games or so, but I think a lot of that, and I'm not taking away, he's been awesome, as James Wood. But if James Wood doesn't go off, I don't really know if this Washington Nationals offense is really that scary going forward. Now, again, they could all get hot and stuff. I know that the bottom of the lineup really had a big day yesterday, but if we're being honest, I mean, like, the Mets should have won that game yesterday. I mean, Soto, I don't know how he makes $800 million and can't catch a fly ball in the outfield. Like, it just blows my mind, but it is what it is. But I think the Nationals got extremely lucky yesterday. I was on the over. I got very lucky yesterday. I think everything corrects itself today and the Mets get right.
John, do you agree with us, Mets?
I'm actually with you 100%. I don't often take the full game run line. I'd like to get them at plus money. I'm seeing -110, -115s floating out there. Did you beat those? Is that what you got? Yeah,
no, -110 for me.
I got -108.
You can put me down at best price for the full game run line. Very rarely, very rarely does it happen that the model spits out a full run disparity as a mean outcome, and that's where I'm at. You know, I have a run right on the nose. not only do I not think Lord is very good, he doesn't have something we haven't mentioned, but that I like to use in my work when we're questioning distance. You go right to the book. Check the out prop on the pitcher you're talking about. Like before, you mentioned Luzardo, who sometimes will have an out prop north of 18. Today's it's not. Today's at 17 and a half. So there's your clue that the books are expecting just 6. Lord is not even listed. Everybody in the Nats bullpen has gone. They're all on 2 out of 3, and they're not very good.
And they're horrible.
Yeah, and they're terrible. But I don't even know who would pitch 4, 5, 6.
They like that guy Rutledge. I'm sure we'll see Rutledge.
So I think I'm with you, Sauce, that like even if they do something, like even if they do something at homes, which I don't think they do, I think the matchup is beautiful for the Nats because they're young and they're still kind of inexperienced. I like some of the talent on them, don't get me wrong, some of the youngsters. They're a ground ball machine. That's been their MO the entire year. You could go, I was just looking, year to date, they have a 47% ground ball rate against righties. Last 2 weeks, the ground ball rate shoots to 55. Last week, the ground ball rate is at 59. Like, that's kind of part of their archetype. And that's the Clay Holmes mantra is he's going to get you to chase the kick change and the fucking sweeper low and lower third. That's what he's very good at doing. That's what got him the job as the Yankees closer in the first place. So, yeah, I like the Mets. I like the Mets are covered up. Yeah, that Soto play was funny, man. I don't know. I still love him. You know, and I'm still jealous of the Mets that you got him and we don't. But baseball's funny.
I mean, it's just. Yeah, obviously that was a rough-looking play, and it's not the best start to the season. But it's just typical when someone gets a big contract like that. It's going to be over-scrutinized. If Juan Soto didn't start the year off with a 1,200 OPS in the MVP discussion, he was going to get criticized. That's what happens when you get a contract like that. I would rather have him be hot in August than right now. Anyway, I don't even care.
Oh yeah,
get hot in August. I don't give a shit. We're in first place.
And his bat is so good. I mean, his defense doesn't really. I mean, it's whatever.
I've always felt like
you got the best hitter of his generation.
He's another perfect example of a guy that, like, when it starts getting warm, I think he will too.
Astros on the road in Kansas City. Shout out to the Royals for getting my first 5 money line in the bottom of the 5th yesterday. That was awesome. Yeah, I love the matchup for Lugo, so I went Royals first 5 money line, and then I'm watching, and we're in the 4th inning, and I was like, I forgot the Royals actually have to score for me to win this.
Not so easy, right?
Yeah, I was like, I forgot I actually need a run. Like, I can't just bet on Lugo. I actually need the Royals to score a run. They got one in the bottom of the 5th. I could have swore I bet this game, but I don't have a bet. What were we talking about in this game last night?
Houston. I don't know if
Jake Anderson in the comments. He's asked this 100 times. What is with the batter prices on FanDuel? I have no idea what you're talking about. You have to be more specific. He's sitting there yelling the same question. I have no idea what is with the batter prices on FanDuel. Like what are you even asking? There's 700 million batter prices on FanDuel. Jesus Christ.
I mean, are they good? Like, are they good?
Are they good? Are they bad? Are they
I have no idea what he's saying.
Total bases or like home runs? I actually found for total bases, FanDuel, I think their pricing is pretty good. You know, it's pretty good.
He's asking the same question 100 times. No idea what he's talking about.
All home run prices are all shitty. Like, there's a rule for you.
I'm pretty sure I said under or pass. Toast, do you remember what you were talking about for this one?
I'm almost positive I said Houston here. I don't really trust this.
You did.
Yeah. So a couple things. Houston was one of my only losses yesterday. That's why it's kind of holding me back, just because, man, this offense is just so bad. But I'll go over just really quickly my thoughts. I do think that Framber's in line for a pretty decent start here. The Royals really haven't been very good the Royals offense is terrible in general, for one. But I will say that their numbers versus lefty starters kind of has to come with an asterisk because they faced Skubal, Fried, and Povich. Those are the only 3. So obviously it's a tiny, tiny sample size. But I just wanted to point that out because I think it's really easy to be like, oh, they haven't touched a lefty starter. But how many teams are going to actually start those guys? Oh, Povich is different, but regardless. Yeah. They just haven't done anything at all versus left-handed pitching in general, and the bats are so bad. And then you flip it over to Framber, and I get that he hasn't been great, but at the same time, I mean, he's the St. Louis start wasn't good, but I mean, Seattle, San Diego, San Francisco, New York, I mean, they weren't all bad. It's a matter of if he has his command or not. And if it's one thing with Framber that we know, he really struggles with the lefty bats. And the only people in the that's left-handed in Kansas City is Bobby Witt and Drew Waters. And I'm sorry, Vinny Pasquantino and Bobby Waters. And Vinny Pasquantino hasn't done diddly poo all year. I don't know if he's not healthy. I don't know if his shoulder isn't right, but he's definitely not a bat that I'm going to sit there and really worry about. Not to mention the fact that they really struggle with the sinkers and changeup, and that's like 55% of Framber's arsenal. I love Michael Wacha. He's really good against righty bats, and he's going to see a shit ton of righty bats today, so I don't think he's going to get completely blown up. But he's also one of these guys that just consistently goes up there and gives you 5 innings or 2 or 3 run baseball. That's just what he does. And you'll take that essentially every time. But I do think that it's possible that the Astros can score some runs against him. I get that the Astros numbers versus righties aren't great, but if you look at the starters that they have seen, pretty damn good. Francis, Bassett, Gosman, Cease, King, Fetty, Gray. So I do think this is quite a bit of a step down in class from the competition that they have been seeing in the past. So you can put up the Astros for me. I don't know if I actually end up betting it or not.
The comments
probably not.
The comments are funny. A lot of people are like, so Sauce, what's up with those batter prices? So I just checked. He says Jose Ramirez 9,500. He's plus 520 on FanDuel. So I don't know what you're looking at to hit home run. You're probably looking at to hit 2 home runs, maybe. Probably looking at the wrong market. I don't know.
Right.
Learn how to use your smartphone. But yeah, I remember what I said last night. Michael Wacha pitching at home against a bunch of righties. He's got great numbers against righty bats. So yeah. I said under or pass. What do you think, John? Oh, John's on Houston.
Go. Yeah, I like the Houston F5, though it's starting to get away from me as far as price. When I posted this morning, it was more like 119, 120, minus 120. Now I'm seeing minus 130, mintus 133.
You can still get minus 118 on BetMGM. Sorry to interrupt you.
I would no, I love that. No, dude, by all means. That's where I'm at. I think we're starting to see Framber kind of correct course. The underpinning stuff was saying it. You know, we had a couple blow-ups, and that's the problem with baseball sometimes when you're looking at year-to-date stats is if you're only 5 starts in and you have a second blow-up, stats start to look kind of shitty, which is why I like some of the underpinning stuff. The Sierra's still at 3 3/4. And again, the walk stuff has been really interesting. If I had more time, I would dive into it because Valdez has a 9% walk rate, something we're not accustomed to at all. That said, he has a 34% ball rate. That's elite. 34% ball rate is elite. That's as good as they go. You know what I mean? The best in the game are 32, 33, 34. So to me, I still think the command and the control is there. He's still getting ahead of everybody. He still has the lead ball going on. He's still impossible to take out of the yard. Yeah, he's had some struggles against lefties. That said, it's all singles, right? It's batting average. Right. It's just batting average. It's all singles. They're not doing any damage. 47 against lefties this year, 47 ground ball, 33 hard hit, 0 home runs. So like, I'm not really too worried. And then you mentioned it's like you're getting that today. Royals offense fucking stinks. And I think Waka Flocka, I think he might be done now. I think he was holding on, kind of doing the lunch pail thing.
He's got good numbers against righties still, though.
Waka.
Yeah.
Waka has been death to righties this year. The only saving grace is they are putting the ball in the air. It's not really being hit hard, but they are putting the ball in the air, and that's going to be what we need to get by. Toast, I was with you yesterday on Houston. Wisniewski looked fucking great.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah.
He looked great early on, and it just the offense, again, it's almost like Sauce said before. You're like,
I tailed you on the first 5.
It's like, wait, we have to score.
You just took Houston first 5?
Yeah,
I like Houston. Yeah, I like Houston first 5 too.
I do agree. I think Framber deals. I don't know. The Astros with all those righties, I could see Michael Wacha pitching well here, and I'm pretty sure the wind's blowing in, if I remember correctly.
The Astros offense sucks. It's not hard to envision a game where they're terrible. But these things are independent events, and sometimes you just not say get lucky. But all we need to do is string together a couple of good ABs because my cap is generally sitting with Framber. I'm wondering if he's set at 17.5 outs too. When he's really going, his out prop is above 18, and that's when you can get with him.
Next up, let's move on to the Braves, and shout out to Atlanta. This is my biggest bet yesterday.
Let's go. I've been calling it. Come on, I've been calling it. Telling you they're getting up.
Well, perfect segue. Are they up enough to bet him at plus 100 with Grant Holmes on the mound against Merrill Kelly, who's actually starting to look pretty good? Are you sold on Merrill Kelly being back, John?
No, I don't think Merrill Kelly.
My man.
I don't think he's very good. I always kind of thought he was. I don't want to say just a guy. I need like just a guy plus, right? He was a Jag plus. He had a phenomenal 2023, but I wasn't buying it because the underpinning stuff really wasn't great. Then this year we saw him hiccup. He put together a couple good starts in a row. He's put together a couple good starts in a row. I mean, he shut down my Marlins, which probably says more than shutting down the Orioles right now. But no, I actually think we get a little bit of negative regression. But it's the Braves offense that I've been focused on. You know, one of the probably gold stars we have on our nose this year was picking up on the Braves cleaning up the disciplinary approach, having that kind of lead to better contact quality, and now I think they're just really good. Braves last 7, top 3 in strikeout rate. Like, that's a huge turnaround. They were striking out like crazy. They have a single-digit swing and miss as a team over the last week, 90% zone contact as a team over the last week, 49 pull, 365 WOBA. Braves offense starting to look pretty good, right? This is the Braves offense we thought we were getting. So I think that's going to be what it is, where Kelly, I'm not buying it. I get he's been okay. I'm just not buying it because it's low velo. There's no swing and miss. He has to pitch to contact. Like, even with these good starts, his zone contact rate is still over 90. His barrel rate is still at 13. So he's going to need BABIP luck, and he's going to need some runs behind him. Right now, Diamondbacks offense, kind of, again, it's not like they're garbage and we're selling them outright for the year. I generally describe teams and players in terms of sine waves. And I think right now, the Diamondbacks are in a down wave. And
100%.
losing Marte.
Go ahead.
No, go for it. That was just it.
I was just going to say, the only time that they're scoring runs is in extra innings over the last week and a half. But if you take out the extra inning games, it's 2s and 3s. So this Arizona offense isn't what everybody thinks it is.
No, dude, how about this? As a team, last 7 days, the batting average is below the Mendoza line. It's hard to make an argument for this team is great.
Right.
Again, that's why I like to talk about waves. It's not to say their top sine wave is very high. But I feel like right now we're entering the down part of the wave. And this is where I like to attack good offenses. And my guy Holmes looking like fucking Kenny Powers and everything. The usage was a little wonky to start, right? Relief appearances, then the short outings. Now I think it's wheels up for Holmes. They kind of fucked him over. I think it was against the Blue Jays. I don't have the game log up. He was through 7 shutout or 7 1-run. They left him out there. They dangled him out there, and he gave up everything in that game in the 8th. So I definitely like Holmes. I think he gets through 5. I like the Braves offense.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's it. Give me Braves at 5. Sure.
I just need to push back a little bit and defend.
Yes, let's go.
I'm not taking the Snakes. I just need to stand up for them because I feel like there's a little bit of bullying going on when it comes to the Snakes lineup.
We're an anti-bullying show here.
They've seen a couple lefties recently, and I don't like this lineup against lefties. I like them against righties. And if you just isolate so when they see righty starters, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Atlanta game logs. Let's switch over to that's embarrassing. I'm going to shut up now. Go ahead, Toast. They're the same color red, man.
No, I get it. Trust me. I hate when these two teams play. I'm on Atlanta money line plus 104.
Let's go.
I honestly don't understand this price. Yes, we talked about Atlanta's offense not being great earlier in the season, but over their last 10 games, really quickly, 8-4-4, 7-6, 4-6, 1-3-8 runs scored. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the Atlanta offense is clicking right now. I think that we have, so on top of that, John just mentioned this as well. The Arizona offense has been really good, yes, but it's also kind of been aided by really good weather in Chicago. They played Tampa Bay. They scored a whole bunch of their runs off of, or in the very late in the game, in the 10th or 11th innings, or close to that. But they didn't do anything yesterday offensively. I know that Corbin Carroll had a home run that was taken away, but I mean, they kind of got beat up pretty bad yesterday. And now they come into this game, which I will give you that. I don't love that Grant Holmes walks 4 guys every time he starts a game, but besides that, he's been pretty damn serviceable. I honestly think that we have a starting pitching advantage with the Braves. So let's just call that a starting pitching advantage. Let's just call the lineups a wash if you want. If you want to give a small edge to Arizona, I'm not going to fight you on that. But at the same time, the Arizona bullpen, I'm not really sure what to think of them. I trust Justin Martinez, but Bleeks, Thompson, Jameson, all those guys are kind of really hit or miss for me. And then the Atlanta bullpen, I mean, I'm starting to be okay with it. Iglesias, Hernandez. I'm not really a big Aaron Bummer fan, but I don't really mind Dylan Lee. And all those guys are rested and available and ready to go today. So I know Dylan Lee worked a little bit yesterday, but everybody's fine. I really don't understand this price. I feel like we have advantages in at least 2 of the 3 big categories in this game. And I think that we have an Atlanta Braves team that's starting to play better as well. So all that, and I'm getting plus money. I'm on Atlanta plus 104.
Yeah, I mean, I think the prices should be flipped. Not like, right, I don't think they're wildly out of control. I just think they should be flipped.
I think you guys are a little crazy here. Grant Holmes has the pitching advantage on the road in the desert over Merrill Kelly.
Yes.
That's freaking
there's no question
crazy,
about that
dude. That's out of, are you crazy? I don't even like Merrill Kelly, but that's a ludicrous statement. I would go, oh, no, not there. That's John's pick. I would go here, over 9.5 if I was to bet this game. I think both starters are going to get rocked. You want to tell me Merrill Kelly's due for regression and the Braves bats are trending upwards? Cool. I'll co-sign that. I can get on board with that. But you're crazy if you're just like, yeah, Grant Holmes is going to go into Arizona and pitch a gem. He's going to get rocked against all those lefties. I think the score might be 6-5 at the end of 5 innings. Hopefully it's the Braves for John's sake.
Man, Holmes getting killed, huh?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lefties in that lineup. So
he's dominated lefties all year. What are we talking about?
Well, the FIP's getting up there. The xFIP's getting up there.
Hold on. Grant Holmes v lefties. They're batting 158 to a 451 OPS, 109 WHIP, 43 ground balls, 0 home runs, 28.
To be fair, I didn't look at his numbers with lefties. I was more referring to you guys just bailing on the Diamondbacks lineup against righties.
Yeah, okay. Again, anytime you're fading a quality lineup, because I made sure I said at least 2 or 3 times, they're good. But this is when I like to strike, right? Striking while they are in is cold to go against the adage.
Let's move on to the next one, and I'm just going to put the pick up. I tailed Toast. So Toast, go ahead. I tailed you. I thought it was a sharp bet. We both got the Rays first 5 at plus 126.
I guess just the price, just didn't really make sense to me. For one, I love the Padres. I think everybody knows that. I think that's very clear. But I think you have this team is so bad right now. Offensively, it's really hard to put any stock into them. I mean, since April 15th, so we're going on 11 days here, the Padres have the fewest runs scored. They've scored 20 runs in 9 games. They have the 3rd worst WRC plus in the league. The team has absolutely no power. They're built on the depth of having guys being able to, take a walk and then push it down the line and let the next guy do their job. And once you get past Bogarts, it's literally a AAA lineup, maybe even a AA lineup, depending on how you feel about Tyler Wade and Martin Maldonado. But regardless, this lineup is so bad,
bro. Come on.
Yo, have you seen Tyler Wade play baseball? It is
double
so bad.
A. All right, go ahead.
It is so bad. So anyway, and again, this Rays team, offensively, starting to kind of turn a corner. I will give you it's a little bit of feast or famine. It's 7s and 10s or 1s and 0s, but I'm not in a position where, first of all, Cease hasn't really been dominant at all. He hasn't really been great at home, and he's facing a Rays lineup that's starting to play a little bit better. And then you have Ryan Pepio on the mound, who I will give you hasn't been fantastic, and all of his starts are at home, but his last 2 starts on the road last year were just fine in Detroit and Boston. And his starts this year, Yankees, Boston, Angels, and Pittsburgh. Again, the Pittsburgh is unacceptable, but the Angels were hitting a lot better earlier in the month than before. That was when they were hot, so I don't really hate him for that. He had a blow up against Boston, and he pitched somewhat decently against the Yankees. So, again, my point to all that is all those offenses are night and day better than San Diego's the way that it's presented right now. So, if Dylan Cease goes out there and throws an absolute gem, I guess so be it. But I honestly think that we have an offensive advantage with Tampa Bay. I call the starting pitching a wash, and we're getting plus 125 or better with Tampa Bay in the first 5. So I don't want to deal with the bullpens because we all know the Padres bullpen is very, very good and rested and ready to go. So I don't want to deal with that. I think later in the game is more of a coin flip. But again, Padres still have to score, and I have a hard time believing they do that today. So Rays first 5 for me.
Yeah, I tailed Toast just for the sole fact. I don't know if the Rays were so hot against righties. They seem to be cooling off. So I don't know if I fully believe the Rays are definitely going to get the cease, but I definitely can get on board with Pepio throwing 5 shutout here against the Padres bats in their current state. So, John, what are your thoughts on our Rays first 5?
Yeah, I don't think we're too far off because I was really leaning towards an under. I've been waiting. I've been hoping it was going to get to 4.5, so I go under. I don't like to go under F5, U4, but that's where I'm at. This is also a big point in the season. You mentioned it, as you guys have. You're really good with all the contextual stuff. For Pepio's 5 starts, they're all at home. Mm-hmm. So before we're like, oh, this guy is a home run machine, which has not really been a thing because he's getting righties are killing him this year, right? Although on the other side, the righties are not hitting. San Diego's righties are not hitting for shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to jump on all these power metrics. And, Pepio's righties are batting 328, 2.5 homer 9, 43 hard hit. Those are pretty rough metrics. But again, all those fly balls are all going out. Yeah, because they're playing in Steinbrenner Field. So, and on the other side, the thing that would worry me is how good I think Cease has been. I know the output is not there. It's easy to roll your eyes and say he has a 6 ERA and a 1.5 whip. I would push back. He is the ultimate candidate for positive regression here. 3.3 Sierra, 3.3 expected. He sits 97, 111 stuff plus, 20 KBB. He has a 57% left on base rate and a 384 BABIP. Those are kind of the core of your luck stats. I think he's not giving up home runs. I think Cease is fine. Also, to the flip side of the Pepio thing, I'm not sure what I think about the Rays offense. Because it's very easy with them playing a million games at home. Like, oh man, the Rays offense is now granted the Padres Toast nailed it. They have sucked. So I do think the Rays have the upper hand. I don't know if it's this definitive upper hand. So I actually think both of these pitchers go out and shove here. Like I said, I'm waiting for under 4.5. It's at -120. The 4 is at -120. If it gets to 4.5, I'm going under. Other than that, I think I'm leaving it. But I want to check my model. It's too close to call. I have them basically tied at like 2.1 through 5. So I guess I hear you because the price is in your favor.
Yeah, the reason I would not even consider going to Tampa in the full game is in the late innings. That Padres bullpen is some serious shit. And although the Rays bullpen, I mean, there's going to be no Clevenger, there's going to be no Rodriguez, so they're missing a couple arms, and I would give the Padres the serious advantage in the late innings.
Right. So
+126. I'm just tailing Toast on this one, but I thought it was worth a small bet.
Yeah, I like the price is good. The price is right.
All right, let's move on. 2 more games left. Pirates, Dodgers. So mad I didn't bet it. On the show yesterday, I said I liked the Pirates money line at +180. I was too scared.
Oh my god, me too, dude. I'm so pissy. Sand. My box is full of sand. Full. I was sitting there. I was tanning my bum hole, and some little snot-nosed fucking kid came and just kicked all the sand right in my junk. Oh. I actually, and the worst, and I know the person didn't mean anything wrong by it, but I got a tag in a tweet this morning. Someone that was like, yo, John, you're the man. The model had the Pirates winning outright. I smashed the F5. I smashed the fucking live hit. I smashed the fucking full game. And I'm like, I'm such a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, I knew. And Yamamoto's been good. But again, getting fucking schemes at whatever +170.
+180.
I can't believe you. Shame on me. I'm a pussy conservative bettor. Shame on you. I can't believe you weren't all over that.
Oh, I mean, I didn't take that one. And Toast gave out Marlins at +270 and hit that. So I didn't tell that.
Wait. Hold on. Didn't he get the Gilbert injury though?
Yeah.
Didn't I cash the ticket?
I'm pretty sure the ticket still cashes though.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. A win is a win is a win. But he had what, 9 up and 9 down. He was under 30 pitches. Come on, bro. You gotta pump the brakes.
He was about to pitch a perfect game.
I'm not gonna pump the brakes.
I don't know about that, but he would listen. We know Gilbert is great. We know the Marlins are flawed, though. I love them. They're my favorite, crappy offense. They're my favorite crappy offense. Anyway, back to this one. I don't have the confidence in the Pirates that I did yesterday. I think the Dodgers correct course. Roki is starting to look good. And I think people need to be careful. He's another perfect example of how season-long stats can get you in trouble. You know, the big Sierra, a lot of stuff that I quote. He has a zero KBB. 43% ball rate. The command and control has been an issue, but the Dodger bullpen's generally there to pick him up. I don't believe in the Pirate offense, though they've been good. I do think the Dodgers correct, but I wouldn't pay any kind of juice for it.
Here's the thing, though. We're coming on multiple seasons where the Dodgers just seem to struggle with this black and yellow team, man.
Yes, yes, it's true.
I think if I was to place a bet in this game, I would take Pirates first 5. And even though I agree, and last night I talked about it, I was just like, Dodgers -1.5 for pass, not really thinking about it. But I'm not betting the game, but I think I would take the Pirates first 5 because for whatever reason, the Dodgers just can't beat this team. It's freaking crazy. In the last 3 years, the Dodgers, I'd say, are the best team in the NL. I think most would agree. In the last 3 years, the Pirates might be the worst. Them or the Marlins, like one of the worst. Yeah. And the Pirates have an above 500 record against the Dodgers. It's crazy.
They're 5-8, but they're always priced high.
Really?
Yeah, they're 5-8, but they're always you're getting
5-8 because they went 6-0 against them one year, didn't they?
That's not even. Maybe like in 2022 or way back.
Oh, maybe I'm rewinding back an extra year. All right, go on, Toast. What do you think?
Dodgers -1.5 for me. Back to the well.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about all that stuff, but regardless, the main part of this game is the Pirates bullpen. When you have David Bendar 3 of the last 4 days, Dennis Santana 3 of the last 4 days, that's your top 2 arms. Baroki went yesterday as well. Yep. I just don't know who's going to be trying to close this game out if you are the Pirates. So that's not me trying to make a case. Mitch Keller hasn't even been really that bad, but he's another one of those guys where he only has 1 road start this year. Everything else has been at home. In his 2 times, the last 2 years that he's went to Dodger Stadium, he's been absolutely annihilated. Again, I don't really put too much stock into that. I think about it, but it's more of, I think that Roki is going to continue to get better. I don't think he's always going to have this walk problem that he has. I think part of that's getting used to the new baseballs in Major League, in the MLB as well. Sooner or later, that's all going to correct himself. I think that John touched on that as well. So I feel like I have the starting pitching advantage, a huge bullpen advantage, and obviously the bats advantage. Dodgers -1.5, -110.
Since 2022, the Pirates are 11-9 against the Dodgers. Just looked it up.
And again, they were probably an average of a +170 dog, right?
So then you were right.
Yeah, 2022 they were
win was great.
They were 5-1 against the Dodgers in 2022. Yep. So yeah.
Wait, hold on. Last thing I do with this once a show also, because Toast, I'm telling you, man, the way you contextualize these bullpens is really like as good as anyone in this industry does it. All kidding aside, because I scrape, bullpen data, but again, I'm always very clear as I'm describing it. That is where the difference happens, because if you're looking at my sheets, which again, they're right. It's not like the numbers are wrong. The numbers are right, but check this out. Last two weeks, the Pirates bullpen has been excellent. 2.6 ERA, 0.8 whip, 150 BA allowed, 3.5 barrel, half a homer 9. Dodgers, same time frame, 6.7 ERA, 310 batting average allowed, nearly 2 homers per 9. But when you hash out the availability, all that shit is meaningless. It's all meaningless because Bednar, who might end up being the closer again, and Santana, those boys have been really good, but they're not pitching today.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Neither one of those guys are pitching. Like you said, they pitched yesterday and 3 out of 4. So I think it's really, 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 really important.
I'll show you how we do it here, John.
To do that stuff.
I'll pull it up right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to make it big.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So on ours, when we plug in the teams, on all the way to the right and left, you hit the check boxes on which bullpen arms you expect to see. And then that factors in to the projected score.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that sexy?
Yeah.
It's so hard. Oh, my goodness.
So
that's all Kyle. That has nothing to do with me. That's all Kyle.
Yeah. So
hold on. Swing. Oh my gosh. I'm let it wash over me, right? I have such a spreadsheet boner from that is so hot.
Yeah, that was I added that this year. We used to just eyeball the bullpen.
Yeah.
But I was why don't we add that into the projection?
Yeah, I have my own. Yeah, man, I can't hold to that. I have similar adjustments because again, I have an F5 model, but a lot of pitchers starting pitchers you have to model for 6. So you have to have an F6 model with your F5 model, and it's easy when everyone's available to model the top 3 guys, but man, you should be very proud of that. That's really cool.
I have today, actually, it's on the schedule. I have it all set up. I'm adding individual ballparks. So if you do Miami at Seattle, it will take into account lefty pull hitters, lefty push hitters, and so each ballpark has its own. That's a little bit of a more challenging, but between me and ChatGPT, we're going to get that done today. Anyway,
Kyle's relationship with ChatGPT makes me jealous.
It's intimate. It's intimate.
Like I feel like I'm going to lose my room. I have a room at Kyle's house. I feel like I might not have one soon.
Isn't it funny how great it can be with some stuff? And then it's funny because we were just talking about the Pirates. I was doing an article for either Barry or the Athletic or somebody, and I asked it to list win total, and it got like the win totals wrong, like the most obvious thing you could ask it. But then sometimes you can ask it really deep. I think it's about if you know how to present the question. I think that's
that's another thing is you have to understand how to talk to it. And like I said, it's an intimate relation. I understand ChatGPT. He understands me.
I'm like, yo, asshole, how many games did the Bucks win? And it's like what? You know? Yeah. Understanding the way it communicates and then how to kind of nuance those questions is a big deal.
Last up is Marlins Mariners toast. Are you going back? By the way, Fate Bird, I already posted it. It's Kyle Kirms. I already posted it for you, man. I posted that already. John Gillespie on the road. Toast was flexing. He got his Marlins money line ticket at a huge plus price. Everyone was celebrating him, gassing him up. Any reason to trust Gillespie here on the road?
No. And we're going to do, this is cool. This is like a tie-in for the entire episode. If you've been listening, right, all the things we've been talking about. And there's every reason to want to fade Castillo. I'm worried he's not say dusted, but this ain't good. And I mean, he's got a million miles on those tires.
Well, and the million miles, speaking of miles, just really quickly, his fastball is at what, 92 now? I'm exaggerating, but he's not the guy who was throwing 100 before.
Yeah, he's sitting 94. But again, 94 is the lower end of a high velo, and it's 4 or 5 ticks below where he was probably doing 98 a year or two ago. So again, that's another contextual issue. Like velo on its own it's a data point, but it's not like an actual data point. You need to know the trajectory it's been on. That's a huge one. But so that's the first part is Castillo's not been great. So there is a reason to like the Marlins, but to the lesson of the show today, which is eliminating variables, the Marlins team total for the game is 2.5. I know it's minus 145, and I don't think I've recommended anything juiced that high, but that's what you got to put me down for, is Marlins 3 runs. Marlins to score 3 runs through 9 innings at minus 145. Marlins offense, I've been saying it on this show and my own all the time. This is not the Marlins offense from the last 2 or 3 years. They're fucking completely rebuilt. And some of these pieces are actually, dare I say, good. Augustin Ramirez, the catcher they just brought up, is a
oh my god, yeah.
He is a legit MLB prospect. This is a legit.
Wasn't he a Yankee guy first?
Yeah, that's why we know about him.
Okay,
that's why
I was going to say
I've been on him for
so.
so long.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Now they shipped him, and he looks like he's about to be doing some great things for Miami. I've always been, I know people eye roll him a little bit, but I think Connor Norby is a really good player.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah, he's only going to get better.
The thing that I like most about Norby is he doesn't need to be like the 2-hitter and carry them. We just saw Jesus Sanchez go yard, and when when he starts to go, he can really get going. I think Xavier Edwards is good. I like Stowers. I like Mervis against any right-hand hitting pitcher.
We haven't even talked about Wagaman.
I like Wagaman.
Me too.
He was my one of my top ads in my waiver wire article for the Athletic at Fantasy. You know, I do like a speculator article trying to look for like low-owned guys that no one is talking about yet. You know what it is? He's a little bit old to be like considered like a prospect. You know what I mean? Like when a guy's 27, about to turn 28, to have his first kind of push. So what, man? I don't understand. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. So everyone develops at different speeds. He looks awesome, by the way. I mean, he's like, dude, he's in the back third. I really like the Marlins offense. I could go on and on about the Marlins offense all day. So again, we don't really have to worry about Gillespie. To answer Sauce's question at the lead is, no, I don't trust him. I'm not exactly sure where I stand on the Seattle offense either. They're very much like hit or miss. Right now, they're doing the sellout thing I was talking about. They strike out a lot, but the power metrics are all in there. So why even worry about Gillespie? Let's just get the Marlins to 3 runs.
Actually, the Marlins team total over is the stees of the day. I'll bring it up on the screen. There's a couple picks from the community I'll give out. For
What's that?
Funny, I was thinking
one of the guys.
five.
One of the guys in our group is named Steez, and he gives out a pick of the day. Funny guy, everyone likes him. And he gave out the Marlins team total over 3.5 at plus 124.
Oh, he altered up. He went up the ladder.
Yes, Steez went up the ladder. Also, Wags gave out Rays money line. Huz is on the Vegas Golden Knights 60-minute money line, and Reams on the Warriors money line tonight. If you're wondering where the people in the community are at. Toast, what are your thoughts on John's pick?
I love it. I didn't look at team totals last night. I kind of wish I did, but they're still sitting at 140. I just want to touch on the Seattle offense really quick because I think that there's this idea that they're good, and I think that needs to be addressed very quickly.
Correct them.
They are good offensively when they are on the road. At home, they are a completely different team. It literally falls off a cliff. I think I posted it last night because somebody in the Discord thought that the splits from between the road and the home and the road splits for the offense weren't as bad, and they were. It was like a 140 WRC plus or OPS plus on the road. It was like a 70 at home. It was literally you can cut everything in half.
Difference.
It was absolutely insane. The difference. I'm trying to find the actual numbers because I can how I have it. There it is.
The ballpark, right? Is that what you think?
Yeah,
right?
it's the ballpark. Yeah. So in Seattle, this team is batting 187 with a 70 OPS plus. On the road, they're batting 266 with a 140 OPS plus. Just completely night and day. So my point to that is that and by the way, Seattle really didn't do anything yesterday against Cal Quantrill and 3 regular bullpen arms from Miami. I mean, they had one good inning when Quantrill served up a meatball in the middle of the plate to Polanco. But besides that, the Mariners offense didn't do anything. So I know some people have made a case that Miami scored all their runs in one inning. Well, so did Seattle. So and then on top of that, I think this Marlins offense, I think that we have to give them a little bit of credit. I mean, again, I know that some of the numbers aren't like fantastic, but they're again on the road. They're a top 10 offense in Major League Baseball. They've seen some pretty decent pitching staffs. Again, Brady Singer, Nick Martinez, plus the Cincinnati bullpen behind them. I mean, Taijuan Walker's pitched well. Zach Wheeler, Brandon Pfaadt, Merrill Kelly, Meatball McGill, Clay Holmes, Kodai Senga. I I mean, so it's not like they're seeing a whole bunch of bad.
Meatball McGill?
Yeah, Meatball.
Yeah, I love Meatball McGill.
Did you just slide that in there? I thought he was Ty Lord.
Oh no, we've been calling him Meatball for a couple of years.
What about Cy Lord?
Here he's Meatball.
He's Meatball McGill.
But now he's graduated. It's like an honorary term now. He's
using Wagyu
he's a strong
beef now,
meatball.
It's an A5.
It's a strong meatball.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Meatball. I mean, I'm
At
just
the Korean
saying.
barbecue. Let's go.
Yeah. So, but and then on top, I guess the only other thing I wanted to do is that the Marlins offense, I think some of this has to, I don't really put too much stock in this because it's so early in the season, but they've killed bullpens. They've been one of, if not the best offense in Major League Baseball against bullpens so far this year. Again, I think a lot of that's the home cooking and some of the late inning comebacks, but still, I just wanted to point that out. This price is just absolutely ridiculous. So Marlins team total over, I think I'm actually just going to tail that. I think that's a lot safer, but it would only be Marlins or pass in any way. This price with Seattle offensively at home is just absolutely disgusting. And that's not me just hating on Luis Castillo. I mean, John already showed you that he's not that good, but yeah,
no,
I'm just telling you.
It's just not the same. You know, I've been quoting CSW. It's important. Castillo used to get that changeup was one of the premier pitches in Major League Baseball. Back to the Cincinnati days.
Yeah. He
used to get it over early. He used to get it over late. His cold strike, his CSW right now is at 23.5. So, like, you can't, I mean, listen, Luis Castillo has a 10% swinging strike rate and a 23 CSW. I hate to do this because he was my guy.
Yeah.
He's getting by on name value. This was a name value play.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Been saying that for 2 years, John. 2 years I've been saying this.
So I put up the over because I kind of agree with what they're saying. Even when Castillo's on, he's not like a 7 shutout inning type of pitcher.
No more. You're right. Not anymore.
A great start for Castillo's like 6 2/3, 2 runs. So even if Castillo pitches great, I still think the Marlins get 2 or 3 across. And Gillespie, I mean, he's about as bad as he's awful. He's given up like 87 runs in his last couple starts. I mean, he just can't get anybody out. So it'll be over for me. I haven't bet this yet. I might. We're at 12:30. John, where can these fine people find your stuff?
Well, since my work is everywhere, it's all streamlined on Twitter. Check it out on X at John Legezza, JohnLegezza. I've got the Substack, the model, the stats. It's 12 pounds of shit in a 3-pound box, man. I never stop working for my people because, again, this was when I was betting professionally. This was my war room, right? This is what I used, and I kind of now share it to the people, and there's a whole bunch of degens who really seem to like it. So, appreciate you guys in the community. You guys are so great. Like I said, I always get so many great comments, all this great feedback every time I link up with you guys, and yeah, I mean all the nice words, man. I love working.
Yeah, we love having you. I look forward to
it's awesome. It really is awesome. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's always our people aren't the type to just blindly tail picks. They're trying to learn so they can beat these markets themselves. That's that's what we were just talking about in the comments. Like, I don't want people tailing picks. I don't want people that blindly tail picks are like, you don't want those kind of people. They're short term.
And then the first people to bitch and cry and complain. Oh, hold on. We have 2 seconds. The worst gambling person on earth, is the person who tails a pick and says, I knew that was a losing pick when I pressed the button. You're the worst person on earth. By all means, if you think I'm some fat fucking donkey scumbag, fade me. But fade me. You don't bet with me and then say you knew I was dumb. That's the worst.
That is and people that complain about a pick after and pretend that they faded, that's somebody who tailed and is mad and is trying to say something. Right. Everyone, enjoy your Saturday. Bet responsibly. I'll be in the Discord all day working on the model, watching sports. So if you need me at all, hit me up. I'll be hanging out in there. Betting League, you got 3.5 hours to submit. If you're in, unfortunately, I am mathematically eliminated from my division. I'll be submitting. I'll take the White Sox money line, Marlins money line. I'll take some home run swings, but I'm out of it. But for those of you that are still in the running for the championship tomorrow, make sure you submit by 4 p.m. Eastern time. Shador Sanders, hopefully he gets picked today, man. Feel for him.
That poor guy with his room. Oh, my God.
What I hate about the NFL draft the most is not the draft. I love college football, big football guy, so I'm curious to see where everyone goes. It's the coverage of it that's absolutely terrible because I watch more college football than I think anybody. I'm a religious college football fan. I don't know shit about who's going to be a good NFL player. No one does. So everyone pretending like they know is like painful because I know you don't know because I don't know, so there's no way that
MLB,
you know.
All these guys fail. How many of these guys suck? They come up and suck. You get top overall picks that aren't in the league in 2 years. Again, it's all for content.
No one knows. It's just but it's just like empty content with no purpose. People just hot takes to get clicks. I can't do that.
You're right. You nailed it.
All right, everyone, enjoy your Saturday. Bet